Remember when fast food in Canada meant something different? When the chains on your main street weren't just franchises of American giants, but homegrown spots with their own stories, their own flavors, their own place in your memory? But over the decades, many of those originals disappeared, bought out, rebranded, forgotten. Today, I'm taking you through the 10 oldest fast food chains in Canada that are still serving Canadians. From coast to coast, these are the survivors, the ones that started decades ago and somehow never left. Let's uncover their stories. Let's start where it all began. White Spot. In 1928, a man named Nat Bailey opened a traveling lunch counter in Vancouver. It wasn't fancy. It was a wheeled cart serving hot meals to working folks. But it worked. Before long, Bailey opened his first permanent spot, a drive-in restaurant on Granville Street. And White Spot became something more than a place to eat. It became a Vancouver institution. What made it special? The Triple-O burger, that secret sauce, the one they still won't tell you about. Creamy, tangy, unforgettable. You'd order your burger and a car hop would bring it right to your window. For families in the Lower Mainland, this was luxury. And then there was the Pirate Pack, a kid's meal served in a little paper boat. If you grew up in BC, you remember that boat. You remember fighting over who got to keep it. It wasn't just a meal, it was an event. White Spot didn't just survive, it adapted. In 1968, it was sold to General Foods. But in 1982, the Toigo family bought it back and brought it home. They kept the sit-down restaurants, but also created Triple-O's in 1997, a faster counter-service version that could fit in malls, on ferries, even in Asia. Today, White Spot operates more than 100 locations across BC, Alberta, Ontario, and internationally. It's Canada's oldest surviving restaurant chain. And for many British Columbians, it's still the first place you think of when someone says, "Let's grab a burger." White Spot balanced nostalgia with innovation. It kept what people loved, the burgers, the sauce, the Pirate Pack, and built around it. That's how you survive for nearly a century. Hamilton, Ontario, May 17, 1964. Tim Hortons. Tim Horton was an NHL defenseman, tough, reliable, beloved. But hockey didn't pay like it does now, so he opened a coffee and donut shop with his partner Jim Charade. The concept was simple. Fresh coffee brewed every 20 minutes, donuts made in-house, glazed, filled, chocolate dipped, and later Timbits, those little donut holes that became a road trip essential. Tim Horton died in a car accident in 1974, but his partner Ron Joyce kept the dream alive. He expanded aggressively, franchised smartly, and turned Tim Hortons into something bigger than a coffee shop. It became a ritual, a double-double before work. A box of Timbits for the kids' hockey team, a place to meet, to warm up, to feel Canadian. Tim Hortons merged with Wendy's in 1995, then Burger King in 2014. But it kept its identity. The menu expanded, breakfast sandwiches, iced cappuccinos, even Beyond Meat options. Roll Up the Rim became a national event. Today, Tim Hortons has over 5,700 locations worldwide. It's Canada's largest quick-service chain, and despite debates about quality and corporate ownership, it remains woven into the fabric of Canadian life. Tim Hortons survived by becoming more than a restaurant. It became a meeting place, a tradition, a piece of home. A submarine sandwich shop opened, Mr. Submarine. Long rolls, fresh meats, toppings lined up behind glass. You pointed, they assembled, and you walked out with a sandwich built exactly how you wanted it. This was before Subway, before the sub shop boom. Mr. Sub was one of Canada's first. The sandwiches were simple but satisfying. Salami, ham, turkey, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, hot peppers, and that tangy sub sauce that tied it all together. You could smell the fresh bread from down the block. In 1972, Mr. Sub sold its first franchise. The brand spread across Ontario, then into smaller towns where competition was lighter. They rebranded to Mr.Sub in 1990, all caps, no period after MR, sleeker logo. It was a new era. When American chains like Subway flooded Canada, Mr.Sub didn't try to compete head-to-head. Instead, they focused on institutional locations, college campuses, hospitals, airports, and smaller communities where they already had loyalty. In 2011, MTY Food Group acquired MR.SUB. They updated the menu with wraps, panini, and RWA meats, raised without antibiotics. They introduced plant-based options, but they kept the core identity: made-to-order subs, Canadian-owned, yours since 1968. Today, MRSUB operates about 260 locations across Canada. It's the largest Canadian-owned sub chain in the country. Mr. Sub survived by knowing its place. It didn't chase dominance. It stayed local, stayed Canadian, and served the communities that supported it from the start. St. John's, Newfoundland, 1969, the Avalon Mall, Pat Tarrant and Cyril Fleming opened a fried chicken restaurant. They licensed a recipe from Virginia and called it Mary Brown's Virginia Fried Chicken. The chicken was hand-breaded, fried fresh, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and it came with taters, thick-cut potato wedges that were somehow better than fries. Mary Brown's spread across Newfoundland, then into Ontario and Alberta by 1972. But growth was slow. The brand stayed regional, beloved by locals, but not a household name nationwide. Then in 2007, entrepreneur Gregory Roberts bought the chain. He invested, expanded, focused on quality, fresh, locally sourced Canadian chicken and potatoes, no shortcuts, no frozen product. The Big Mary sandwich, a whole chicken breast, hand-breaded and fried, became the signature. Simple, satisfying. The kind of sandwich you remember. Mary Brown's positioned itself as the Canadian alternative to American fried chicken chains. Independent, community-focused, and proud of it. Today, Mary Brown's has roughly 300 locations across Canada, with new MB chicken outlets even opening in Northern Ireland. It's expanding domestically and internationally, but it stayed true to its roots. Mary Brown survived by refusing to compromise on quality. It stayed independent, stayed Canadian, and built loyalty one hand-breaded piece of chicken at a time. Toronto, Scarborough Town Centre, 1984. Jay and Hal Gould opened the first Canadian New York Fries location. The brand name came from a small fry stand in New York's South Street Seaport, but the Goulds made it theirs. They made it Canadian. The concept was razor-focused, fresh-cut fries. That's it. No burgers, no sandwiches, just potatoes cut in front of you, cooked in non-hydrogenated sunflower oil, and served hot. You could smell them from across the food court, that rich, starchy, slightly salty aroma. You'd watch them scoop a handful of whole potatoes, run them through the cutter, and drop them into the fryer. Fresh, simple, perfect. And then in 1989, they did something brilliant. They added poutine, gravy, and cheese curds over fresh-cut fries. For many Canadian kids in the 90s, New York Fries poutine was their first poutine. It wasn't authentic Quebecois, it was a gateway. And it worked. New York Fries spread to malls and movie theaters nationwide. They kept the menu tight: fries, poutine, hot dogs, and a few toppings like veggie chili. No distractions, just what they did best. In 2015, Recipe Unlimited acquired New York Fries, but they didn't change it. They kept the brand, the menu, the identity. They added vegan and vegetarian options as trends shifted, but the core stayed the same. Today, New York Fries operates roughly 120 Canadian locations and 156 worldwide. It's still synonymous with shopping mall nostalgia, still serving fresh-cut fries to families, teens, and anyone who needs a snack between stores. New York Fries survived by staying focused. One product done exceptionally well. No distractions, no compromises, just fries. Killaloe, Ontario, 1978. A small community fair. Grant and Pam Hooker set up a stand selling hand-pulled fried dough pastries, flat, oval, shaped like a beaver's tail, topped with cinnamon sugar. People loved them. They were warm, sweet, indulgent. The dough was whole wheat, which gave it a slightly nutty flavor. And the toppings, cinnamon sugar, chocolate hazelnut spread, maple butter, made every bite feel like a treat. In 1980, the Hookers opened a permanent store in Ottawa. BEAVERTAILS became a fixture at Winterlude, the city's winter festival. Skaters would come off the Rideau Canal freezing cold and line up for a hot beaver tail. It became tradition. BEAVERTAILS expanded through franchising, but not in the typical way. They focused on tourist areas, ski hills, festivals, fairs, places where people were looking for something special, something memorable. The iconic shape helped. You couldn't mistake a beaver tail for anything else. And the fact that it was Canadian, proudly, unapologetically Canadian, made it even more appealing. In 2009, US President Barack Obama visited Ottawa and famously ate a beaver tail. The photo went everywhere. Suddenly, this small Canadian pastry chain had international recognition. By 2018, BEAVERTAILS had 140 franchise and licensed locations in 6 countries. They introduced savory toppings alongside the sweet. They expanded into mobile kiosks, but they never lost that festival feel, that sense of occasion. Today, BEAVERTAILS is still privately owned, still Canadian, still showing up at winter festivals, ski resorts, and boardwalks across the country. BEAVERTAILS survived by staying true to its roots. It didn't try to become a mall chain or a drive-through. It stayed special, a treat, not a meal. And that's exactly why people keep coming back. Toronto, New Year's Eve, 1967. Michael Overs opened Pizza Pizza. The idea? Pizza by the slice, fresh, fast, affordable. But what made Pizza Pizza iconic wasn't just the pizza, it was the phone number, 967-1111. And the jingle that went with it, 967-1111. If you grew up in Ontario, that jingle is burned into your brain. You didn't need a menu. You called that number and pizza showed up. Hot, cheesy, reliable. Pizza Pizza expanded throughout Ontario in the 70s and 80s. By the 90s, it was everywhere. Downtown Toronto, suburban plazas, university campuses. Late-night fuel for students, office workers, anyone who needed a quick, satisfying meal. In 2007, Pizza Pizza acquired Pizza 73, an Alberta-based chain, to break into Western Canada. They launched in Quebec and the Maritimes through licensing. The orange box became a national symbol. They adapted too. New crusts, vegan cheese, cauliflower crust, dipping sauces that became as famous as the pizza itself. Today, Pizza Pizza operates more than 700 locations across Canada. It's still independently Canadian-owned, still delivering, still answering that same number. Pizza Pizza survived by making ordering easy, keeping prices low, and staying consistent. When you called 967-1111, you knew exactly what you were getting, and that was enough. Now let's head east to Winnipeg, 1956. A&W wasn't born in Canada. The brand started in California in 1919, famous for its root beer served in frosty mugs at American drive-ins. But in 1956, A&W Food Services of Canada opened its first Canadian location in Winnipeg. And that's when something interesting happened. What started as a Canadian branch of an American chain slowly became Canadian. Walk into an A&W in the 50s and 60s, and you'd see families pulling up in their Chevys and Fords ordering from their cars. The server would bring out trays that hooked onto your window. And in the center of that tray, a frosted glass mug of root beer so cold it fogged up in the summer heat. The teen burger became the signature, a beef patty, bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and that tangy sauce. It wasn't trying to be fancy, it was exactly what it needed to be. Satisfying, familiar, filling. And then there were the onion rings, thick, golden, crunchy. You didn't just get fries at A&W, you got onion rings. That was the move. But here's where A&W's story gets uniquely Canadian. In 1972, the Canadian division separated from its American parent. It became its own entity. And over the next few decades, it evolved independently. Different menu, different branding, different values. A&W Canada was sold to Unilever, then bought back by management in 1995. And that's when they made a decision that would define the brand for the next generation: hormone and steroid-free beef. Grass-fed, raised without antibiotics. This was the 1990s, long before sustainable and ethical became marketing buzzwords. They leaned into nostalgia too. The restaurants got a retro diner makeover, checkerboard floors, red vinyl booths, neon signs. It felt like stepping back into the 60s, but with better ingredients A&W became the anti-fast food chain. It reminded Canadians of simpler times while promising them something better for the future. Today, A&W operates over 1,000 locations across Canada. It's the country's second largest burger chain, and it's still growing, still serving root beer in frosted mugs, still making Canadians feel like they're part of something bigger than just a meal. A&W survived because it knew when to hold on and when to let go. It kept the mug, the mascot, the memory, but it updated everything else. Let's talk about chicken. Rotisserie chicken, Swiss Chalet. In 1954, a restaurant opened on Bloor Street West in Toronto. It wasn't a burger joint. It wasn't serving hot dogs or fries. It was roasting chickens on a spit, slow and steady until the skin turned golden and crispy and the meat fell off the bone. Swiss Chalet pioneered something Canada didn't really have yet, a sit-down chain focused entirely on rotisserie chicken. And they did it right. The quarter chicken dinner became the signature. A quarter chicken, your choice of white or dark meat, served with fries, a dinner roll, and a little cup of chalet sauce. That sauce, if you know, you know. Savory, slightly tangy, with a hint of sweetness. People didn't just use it on their chicken, they dipped their fries in it, their roll. Some people probably drank it straight from the cup. And when you finished, you'd ask for more, always more. Swiss Chalet wasn't fast food in the traditional sense. It was sit-down, family style, the kind of place you'd go after church on Sunday or for your dad's birthday or when you were too tired to cook but still wanted something that felt like a real meal. The restaurants had a cozy, chalet-inspired look. Wood paneling, warm lighting, you could smell the chicken roasting from the parking lot. Swiss Chalet expanded rapidly across Ontario in the 60s and 70s. It became part of Cara operations, now called Recipe Unlimited, which helped it grow even further. And in 2016, when Recipe bought St. Hubert, another iconic Canadian chicken chain, Swiss Chalet solidified its place as the king of rotisserie chicken in English Canada. They adapted too. Takeout became huge. Delivery became essential. And during the holidays, they introduced the festive special: turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, the works. It wasn't just for Christmas anymore, it was a reason to visit year-round. Today, Swiss Chalet operates more than 200 locations across Canada. It's still the go-to spot for families who want chicken that tastes homemade without the effort. And that chalet sauce? Still secret, still perfect, still worth the extra cup. Swiss Chalet survived by staying true to one thing: really good chicken. They didn't chase trends, they didn't try to be something they weren't. They roasted chickens, made great sauce, and built a legacy around it. Next up, HARVEY'S, Richmond Hill, Ontario, 1959. George Sokornik and Rick Moran opened the first HARVEY'S with a simple idea. Let people build their own burger, not from a list of preset combos, not as is or with everything. You walked up to the counter and you told them exactly what you wanted. Pickles? Sure. Onions? You bet. Tomatoes, lettuce, mustard, ketchup, relish? All of it or none of it. Your call. This was revolutionary. At the time, most burger chains served their food one way. You got what you got. But HARVEY'S put the power in your hands. They assembled your burger right in front of you behind a glass counter so you could watch every topping go on. The burgers were charbroiled, not fried on a flat top like most chains, grilled over an open flame, which gave them that slightly smoky, charred flavor. And the fries, fresh cut, not frozen, you could see them slicing the potatoes in the back. HARVEY'S also served hot dogs, grilled, not steamed, and they were serious about them. If you wanted a hot dog with just mustard and onions, that's what you got. If you wanted the works, they piled it on. Within a year, HARVEY'S sold its first franchise. The model worked. People loved the customization, they loved the quality, and they loved that it was Canadian. In the 1970s, HARVEY'S was acquired by Cara Operations, the same company that owned Swiss Chalet. This gave them the resources to expand nationwide. They co-branded with Swiss Chalet at some locations, offering both burgers and chicken under one roof. HARVEY'S leaned into its Canadianness. While American chains flooded the market, HARVEY'S stood firm as the homegrown alternative. The one that let you have it your way, though they'd never say it quite like that. They refreshed their look over the years, updated the menu, added new toppings, but the core stayed the same: char-broiled burgers, fresh-cut fries, and the toppings bar. Today, Harvey's operates hundreds of locations across Canada. It's still a key player in the Canadian burger market. And for a generation of Canadians, it's still the place where you learned that you could, in fact, have it exactly the way you wanted it. Harvey's survived by giving Canadians control. In a world of one-size-fits-all fast food, they offered choice. And that choice became their identity. 10 chains, 10 stories, nearly a century of Canadian fast food. These aren't just restaurants, they're landmarks, memories, pieces of our shared history. Some adapted, some stayed the same. But all of them survived because they understood something simple. Canadians don't just want food, they want familiarity. They want tradition. They want a place that feels like home. If you remember eating a pirate pack in the back of your parents' car, or waiting in line for a beaver tail at Winterlude, or calling 967-1111 because you didn't need to look up the number, give this video a like. And if you want more stories about the places, the brands, and the memories that shaped Canada, hit subscribe because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching Canadian Flashback. See you in the next one.